Dr. Callahan. Okay, she's command here,
Yep.
and even though I've been a psychiatrist for a few, I am just transferred here, and so she's shadowing me. So she's a good woman, and uh, I want you to feel comfortable. Okay.
I'm comfortable. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Okay. Good. So she's being a good boss and shadowing me and seeing how I interact and what have you. Okay.
Okay.
I did see your appointment request, and I did see that you feel like there was another personality that attacked.
Well, I'm certain there was another personality that did the everything.
Okay. Let me see. I want to. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Hmm. Okay. I'm just pulling up your information. Make sure we have. I have everything on file. Okay.
All right.
Hmm. So, Florence,
Yes.
do you remember anything that happened?
Uh, yeah. I do. I remember every detail, every part of it. Unfortunately,
Are you comfortable talking about what happened in the beginning?
yeah. Um. Okay. So a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't know. I don't recall. I um I had epilepsy, and I it was because of flashing lights, because of there was a cop car, and the lights were way too way too much, way too overwhelming, and I ended up had epilepsy, and I passed out. And when I came back, I didn't remember who I was. I didn't remember anything other than uh, I mean, basic, human knowledge, like what's a TV, what's a street, I knew about surroundings, but I didn't know what, everything that happened to me at that point. So because of that, me or she or whatever, I kind of assumed that a new personality. Um, she wanted to be called M, which ends up being my middle name. It's just M, the letter M, and she wants to be called just by that. Um, she seemed pretty, innocent. She was just trying to help because Florence, I do a lot of things in the city. I plan events. I take care of Japanese noodle restaurant. I take care of other things. I have a lot of friends, and she was, trying to solve everything for me, which was okay. It was nice. Uh, it's just um, I guess it was overwhelming for her because it was a lot happening
So,
at that time.
let me ask you, Florence. So, I just want to reiterate what I'm hearing and correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying that you feel you had a seizure, an epileptic
Yes.
episode that was caused by flashing lights from police cars.
Yeah. Yes, I
You
did.
you blanked out, and then you don't really recall the specific details of what happened. You just been are you saying that you were told that somebody else, or are you saying that you are aware that you felt differently, or you said that you did not
Well,
remember who you
that's
were?
that's the thing.
Okay.
Um, while I was there was a few specific spots where I could kind of come back to consciousness. Uh, while she was walking around, it's like some familiar thing was is happening, and um, M was like okay, moving forward, like I was kind of 3 days as M, I think, and she went to a spot that is very dear to me. I like it very much there, and she was with my friend Adora, and I like her very much too. And I think that kind of woke me up inside of my own head, I guess, as Florence.
So let
But
me. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I couldn't move. I couldn't control my body. It was like I was just, I was watching TV. It was like someone was moving my body, and I was just a spectator. Um,
So you are saying, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm taking notes, also listening, because I want to make sure I'm clear to understand your point of view. You're saying that Florence, was conscious of this me, M. Is that what you call it? M.
and
Okay, you were conscious of M
yeah,
operating, but you're saying that you felt like M was taking over you.
yeah, it was. It's like if my if my body was divided in two, if my brain was divided in two, and one person controlled the body and controlled the actions, and the other person just watch, and that at that time was just me watching and doing everything else without uh, without of course knowing about Florence. And as I said, she went to a place that was very dear to me, and she was with Adora, and they were talking, and I guess something woke me up, and I could, kind of, kind of do voices, to control M, kind of like if something was calling M at that point.
Now,
Uh,
have you ever experienced this before?
mm, I had, I had, I have problems in when my head is very sensitive to damage. Uh, there was this episode which was uh, I was kidding around, and I I got hit on the head, and when I woke up I didn't remember anything, but it was just for a few minutes, which is fast. And then I was back. So that was before everything. It was weeks ago and maybe months.
Okay. So what I'm doing while you're talking, I'm actually also looking at your previous, um, most recent visits.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there was a few that there was no doctors around to report. I guess there was this time that I came here and I went blind.
yeah,
And
I do see that. That was the early part of July. So I am seeing some head trauma.
yeah, I
Um,
I suffer a lot from those. I've had a few of those, and every time that I there's something, I have some trauma, something happens.
Mm. And I'm not seeing that you're taking any medications. Uh, uh,
When I went blind, I did took a medication. It was an injection. Uh,
okay.
I don't remember what it was, but I had to come to the hospital to get it,
Okay.
because the whole reason of the blindness was I guess was a swelling on the back of my brain,
Yes.
and yeah, I had to take an injection for that for a few days.
And you had a fall.
Um, Yesterday,
Yes.
yeah, I fell down while I was moving around with my wheelchair.
Okay. Okay. Now you saying this epileptic episode. I'm just still looking through your documentation here. Are you saying also that was this the first episode that you've had? But or do you know in the past that you suffered from
When
seizures?
I, as I said, that when I first forgot about everything, uh, that for a few minutes it was an epileptic episode, yes. So it happened before.
So somebody you so you were able to, you were still conscious of it was almost like you were conscious of this particular personality me, and you wanted to control but you couldn't, but someone was able to, you were going around places that were familiar, or
Yeah,
someone took, okay, and then that is kind of how you kind of gain control of me.
yeah, kinda.
Okay.
Um,
Now
on
what
that,
happened, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, honey, I'm sorry.
yeah, on that, when could, I didn't gain control of my body right away. I could say something to M, give messages, I guess. I was like the voice inside her head, for, and I kind of could, control her in a way. And okay, this sounds weird, but I took like a leap of faith. I said to M to jump off of a tower so I can go back to being myself. I And it worked, but it was dangerous. I almost died because of that.
Okay. Now in the past, when you face traumatic situations, do you feel yourself blanking out? Do you feel yourself losing yourself? Or you just, you know, try to deal with the trauma? What has been your past experience when you experience a traumatic situation? What do you remember occurs?
On a normal traumatic situation, I just kind of keep it to myself. I don't I don't really. I try to not care a lot, and if I have to be sad for a few days, I will. But I'll normally go back to my old self. But there was this time in which I was having a very bad day, and I saw I saw something that really bothered me, and I kind of blacked out. I just started running and running and running,
Callahan, if you're still on
and
radio, I probably could do with another pair of hands in a
I
second.
just came back to myself because someone saw me running on the street and called my name, and that's how, I kind of I snapped back to myself.
Do you feel that these situations where you blank out, with certain, traumatic issues, do you feel like this has increased since your brain injury from the last time in July?
Um, it's it's definitely becoming weirder. Um, it's more aggravating. Uh, that's how I feel.
Okay. Okay. Um, do you feel that you are a danger to yourself and others?
Yes, I do feel I am
Okay.
because I did hurt my someone that I shouldn't hurt, and I hurt myself.
Okay.
I don't want that to happen again.
All right. Um, would you mind if I had a brief consultation with Dr. Callahan? And after I have a brief consultation, I will come back and talk with you more. Is that okay?
All right, that's fine.
Uh, okay.
Should I leave or?
No, no, you stay in the room, Dr. Callahan, and I can
Okay.
go to a different room. You stay here. Are you comfortable? You have
I
food,
I'm
drink?
okay.
Okay,
I have,
sweetheart.
yes.
Okay, just
Thank
stay
you.
here and I'll be right back. I'll whisper. Um, to me, what I'm gathering, normally when people have like dissociative disorder, schizophrenia or mild psychotic episodes, normally they are not conscious. The personalities are not conscious of the other. Normally, in normal, I would say 99% of cases. So you have this one person out. So you have a traumatic event, right? The brain is designed to protect itself. So the brain will, in that severe situation, could create a personality to protect the main personality of that particular trauma, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for example, like this is the best example, but it's funny, but it's the truth. It's like you see the movie Me, Myself, and Irene with
Yeah.
Jim Carrey when he didn't deal with that pain and trauma, let it press, his brain immediately snapped, and the last thing was that woman talking about him, and he didn't, you know what I'm saying? His brain protected that the fragile, broken, weak man where he didn't have his voice. When that last straw hit, the brain kicked in and created that personality that he couldn't do himself. But
Right.
they're not aware of each other.
Right.
Oh,
Well, McGee.
Hello.
yes, sir.
Hello,
Hey, I was just
Ducky.
checking to see if y'all had made an evaluation or not.
We are. Having this consultation with Dr. Callahan to get her professional expertise in the matter, and we'll go from there.
Okay. I had some police reports that might help too as well. I don't know if that would be something y'all would be interested in.
Sure. I would like to see those.
Okay, I can email you over the body of those. The short version is that her friend also filed a police report, um, stating mental health concerns and that she was threatening that friend. Um, and then that friend was the same one that was later stabbed by her. Um, and she explained the whole Florence versus M thing.
Yes. But
Okay, so
in the report, do you see anything mentioned from this friend of unusual behavior, things that was being said to her that what she mentioned that Florence was not acting herself, any of those things?
yes, they were both in the vehicle together, and it says Florence mentioned she wanted to go to a burned down house. Uh, they went to the abandoned building. She then lost Florence and then ran across the street and found her. It says that Florence did not look like Florence and was not acting like Florence. So she would have had to change and everything. Florence proceeded to pull out a bat and brought Adora back to the building and handcuffed her. After handcuffing Adora, Florence stole her firearm, phone, and radio. Florence was saying things that sounded like this says they're out today. Florence was saying things that sounded like her and was not remembering things that she should. Florence had her in the building. Florence stated that her name was M, which is apparently her alter ego. M stated that she hated her friend and that she wanted to do bad things to her. Florence began stating things about Adora's past, such as how Adora was a bad person. After taking the items off of Adora, taking the firearm and stuff, Florence uncuffed her, but had Adora at knife point. Sometime during the altercation, M stated that she was going to ruin Florence's life. After the cuffs were off, Florence stabbed Adora. After stabbing Adora, Florence called Adora's name, stating that Adora was hurt, admitting to stabbing Adora, and that Adora's mother needed to come get her. Florence then called Adora's mother and took off. That's just the one report.
Okay. When I'm whispering, by the way. I do have her. She's waiting. When Florence was arrested, is it did y'all do any substance testing, like drug testing, anything like that? To see if she was intoxicated or under
So
the
Florence was
influence.
never arrested for this. Adora
Oh,
came and reported this to police after the fact,
okay.
and
So she
is
was never arrested.
specifically refusing to press charges.
Adora's okay. She's refusing. Okay.
Yeah. And then there was a report from yesterday that Florence woke up in Grapeseed. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to just make sure this is not the same call or not. This might be the same instance where she reported this again to law enforcement, and this officer just did not recall anything. But
Okay.
she did also. This detective also documented here that is how Florence is missing an eye, that her alter ego cut it out of her own head.
Okay. Perfect.
Callahan, are you on radio?
Thank you so very much. I do appreciate
Are you able to help with the 3 that just came in, or because I'm going to be down in surgery of a patient, or am I best to local them?
Or text 911
Hello.
and we'll come.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And
Not a
this
problem.
Trooper McGee, I apologize.
The
Is it
detective.
detective? I'm sorry. Please
No,
forgive me.
not a problem.
Okay. Yes, sir. And
All
I
right.
have your number when you did call me,
Yes.
so I will save that.
Info.
All right. I'm just glad she's finally getting some help.
Yes, sir. Thank you for transporting her. I definitely appreciate that.
Not a problem. Y'all have a good evening.
You too, sir.
Alrighty.
That gives even more context. I think what I am stuck on is the fact that she's very conscious. I'm not saying that there's not psychotic episodes going on, but I will say that if it's schizophrenia, that to me, it's on the it's in the ballpark. But like I said, normally people who are dealing with schizophrenic episodes, their personalities are not aware of each other. However, I would say she is dealing with some psychotic episodes. One thing that I was gathering is that, and looking at her notes, what I was reading while she was talking at the same time was that she had an incident. She had brain trauma. I've seen it's just a couple of incidences of brain trauma. Um, I feel like I want to see if she can have a CT scan um, to make sure that there's nothing going on in the brain that could also be causing this. But I also feel like I want to treat her for um, I feel like I want to treat her for psychotic episodes with some medicine. There's several of them that's out here, but at the same time, I really want her to be here for testing because I'm wondering if her traumatic brain injury has caused this. That's why one of the main reasons of me asking, hey, does she feel like this has gotten worse? And it was she started with a seizure, flashing lights, things, this, and other. So that's what I
Do
wanted
we have
to
anyone
rule
else
out medically.
available
I
for
want to rule out medically that
surgery?
there's nothing going on in the brain. There's any more trauma to the brain that could be causing this shift in the personality. And also, you know, from there. Now, with your professional opinion,
Do we have
Dr.
anyone else
Callahan, do you feel in
that's
this
available for
situation,
surgery? We have another LEO
would
that
you,
needs surgery.
I feel like she wants help, so I don't feel like it's a thing, but I do feel like she should be on at least a hold long enough to get this test done. But what do you feel like in your professional opinion?
I mean, I won't rule out any type of like physical damage. So there's nothing saying we can't, cover all our bases and do a scan just to see where we're
Yes, sir.
starting at. So
Okay.
I'd totally go with that.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then we can talk to her and discuss a voluntary hold so that it doesn't count against her in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
And that way we can hold her for as long as she's willing to be here.
Okay.
And then we can set up rules of when she can go out, how she can go out, who she can go out with, things like that.
Okay.
So that she's
Perfect.
not, just stuck here.
Absolutely. As far as, let me just look here. As far as medicine is concerned, hold on.
Yeah.
That I do want to put on something mild um, to start off.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing severe.
Right. If there's a medicine that you have in mind that's not on the MDT, I can always just add it to the MDT. That's not a problem.
Added. Okay. Okay. Hmm. I'm very familiar with Abilify. I've I want to try to do that Abilify with her, but I want to do a low dose of Abilify. I am familiar with that.
Yeah, we'll do that. That works.
And I'm writing notes on my personal thing and write that up as well. I was getting stuck. All right, you okay, dear?
I'm okay.
Okay, good. So, with my
Yeah.
consultation with the lovely Dr. Callahan and discussing what I was multiple things that I would like to try. Okay, the first thing that I want to do is I want to have you in for testing CT scan. I want to, you've experienced, according to what I've seen, what I've read, multiple instances of traumatic brain injury. Okay.
Righty, MamaRed.
And
Meet me
I,
down in Ashbridge.
however, I really didn't see anything that suggested that they went and did some extensive tests on your brain. So I am going to request that. I would suggest that because you're seeking help, I would suggest that you voluntarily be placed on hold here, at least for, I would say, 48 hours. Okay, we can come up with the guidelines on it so you don't feel like you have to stay stuck in the hospital. However, but I really would like for you and encourage you to volunteer to do it because I want to do some blood work. I want to do some, like I said, a CT scan because of the traumatic brain injury. When you do have um,
Oopsies.
brain, sorry, when you have traumatic brain injuries, um, it can be a shift in personalities, and we want to do that. Um, Also, I want to start you on some medications. Okay, um,
Okay.
a mild dose of medication. Okay, and the reason I'm going to start you on a mild dose of medications because depending on the results of the CT scan. Um, Now, are you on any substances? Do you drink alcohol on a regular basis? Do you uh,
I
take
don't
any
drink
drugs? You don't take
alcohol,
it.
don't drugs in
So there's no
like five
drugs or
days.
anything like
No, no.
that. Okay. Um, no illegal substances, no legal substances, cigarettes, anything like that.
Yeah, cigarettes.
So you do smoke cigarettes, but you're not on any, not marijuana, not on any illegal drugs.
Well, no, in the last um, well, 4 days, I don't think I did anything with cigarettes and maybe beer, but I've done yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So, and also what I want to do once we have the actual testing done and blood work done, and then I get your prescription of Abilify. I'm going to get the low dose. Depending on the test results, we can go from there. And also, with all of that, I do believe you're going to need some counseling on a regular basis.
Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Okay. Um, so you are okay with voluntarily being admitted.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now, with that being said, Dr. Callahan, do you have the idea of how you would want her to be able to leave and come to those guidelines?
So
So I can stay here. Uh, it's a uh, I I'm really trying to not drown that much because I don't want anybody. So if I'm gonna stay here, I think it's better. I don't need guidelines to go out.
okay.
So you're comfortable with staying here at least 2 days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can do that. Yes.
And the reason why I'm doing 48 hours to begin with,
Actually,
like I said,
apparently
is
my
long
car
enough
isn't
to
even here.
make sure
He
we
left
get
it here.
the
Be right
SAHA
back.
staff to do the test, the CT scan, the order the CT scan, some routine blood work, and then
Yeah,
getting you started on medication. The
yeah. That's
medication,
that's fine.
okay, it's going to be low dose, um, which should help. And I may also add a mood stabilizer, okay, because I understand you're dealing with a lot of anxiety into that. But also, I'm going to, once we get this done, we'll go from there. But again, I'm very appreciative that you come voluntarily because I want to help you. And again, I strongly recommend after everything that you have counseling on a regular basis. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Demons.
I'll do that.
Okay. Let me add for um, I just want to clarify a few things with Dr. Callahan first, and then we can take you to a room. Is there
Okay.
anybody that you want to?
Uh, I can send some messages. I don't think anybody's around right now.
Okay, okay, okay. Read it one more time, honey, and then we'll find a room for you.
Okay.
Whew.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Callahan. I'm
Very
sorry.
good.
Let me scooch around here. So, we could just have her go into the room. Do you have closets or anything that she can change clothes, or should she change into a nightgown or whatever she wants?
Let's do like the cat just jumped on my shoulders. That's crazy. Like loose fitting, nothing she can like strangle herself in. So like not like this dress where there's ties or things like that. So get her into like a t-shirt and maybe something comfortable.
Okay.
We have a closet in the PT room that she can use, so it's all easy accessible for her.
Ah, yes, and that physical. Okay, yes, exactly. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so she can change something comfortable.
Yep. No
Do
strings, no
we
ties,
need?
necklaces, nothing like that. You know.
Okay. And as far as making sure, like with CT, do we can, or from the DBH standpoint, do we have someone from SAHA, that the medical part to do the CT scan for us?
Probably here soon. Either I can do it, or I know there's medical staff around right now, so we can order that
Oh,
with
okay.
them.
Okay, perfect. Because I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Okay. And as far as getting the prescriptions are concerned, do we actually have a script pad, or we just send them over to, um,
Nice.
that threw me off.
Oh, he absolutely went boom.
Oh my God. So when we do these prescriptions, do we actually have those, or we just kind of like, you know what I mean? How did that work?
So it's a soon TM. I got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yes.
for the time being, I usually just have like a thing that I fill out, and then I put it on their report as a reference.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a particular type of style that you want, otherwise I have one that you can use if you wish.
Oh, well, I'll take whatever you can. What you give me, I take it, honey.
All right, I'll make sure to send it over really soon. And you'll just fill it out and put your name and whatever you're giving her, and blah blah blah. And then we'll add her on her main profile. We'll add the Abilify, and then we'll just notate the doses there as well.
Okay. So let me we'll go ahead and get this written up for you. I'll tell you what, I'll complete that once we get that done. I'll put it in the chart. I'll put the notes in myself. So I guess lead her to the PT room and let her change and
Yes.
Okay, Florence, darling. Let me.
Oh, no.
Okay, come on, honey. We're gonna go to the PT room.
Uh,
If I
there's
can
a
remember
friend
how to
of
go.
mine coming.
Okay, that's
Can I
fine.
just
They can.